You're lying about me and you will not defame my character in that manner.
Because when it comes to defaming character, Marjorie Greene does it to herself. On this stage, she obsessed over children's private parts.
And genital mutilation of kids that can't even get a driver's license, grooming children and sexualizing them in school. Do you believe in genital mutilation of children under the age of 18?
Days later, Greene showed her ignorance about history. In a post on social media, she wrote, "Tonight I stopped at the Wilder Monument in Chickamauga, Georgia, which honors the Confederate soldiers of the Wilder Brigade." In fact, the Wilder Brigade was part of the Union Army and was made up of regiments from Indiana and Illinois. Given their success here against the Confederates in Georgia, Union soldiers built this monument to honor their general, John T. Wilder. "I will always defend our nation's history," said Greene. Whatever. Greene's history is marked by stupidity.
Everyone thinks you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy. People think you're a pedophile. I don't think you're a pedophile at all.
There's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take this global cabal of Satan-worshiping pedophiles out.
It's cabal, not cable.
Now we have Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police spying on members of Congress.
It's Gestapo, not gazpacho. Through the years, on top of her verbal gaffes, Greene has suggested violence against Democratic leaders and has used profanity.
I just want to say to Nancy Pelosi, she's a hypocrite. She's an anti-American, and we're going to kick that bitch out of Congress.
Greene has dabbled in racism.
Generations of Black and Hispanic men, do you want to know what holds them down? Gangs.
Greene has promoted Islamophobia and lied about Barack Obama.
Yes, I do believe he is a Muslim, and yes, Valerie Jarrett is too, and she's a big issue too.
Greene suggested the Clintons killed JFK Jr.
So she becomes senator in New York City, and yes, I could dive into Kennedy getting killed in the plane crash, because isn't it interesting?
Greene claimed the Las Vegas mass shooting was a Democratic plot.
I don't believe Stephen Paddock was a lone wolf. I don't believe that he pulled this off all by himself.
Greene said the 9/11 attack on the Pentagon was staged.
The so-called plane that crashed into the Pentagon.
And Greene wrote on Facebook that Jewish space lasers started the California wildfires. While that statement was a few years ago, this past spring, there was this.
Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to speak at an event that was organized and founded by white nationalist Nick Fuentes.
To this day, Greene continues to focus on kids' sexuality.
And these puberty blockers.
Huh? Creepy, right? An obsession with children's genitalia combined with racism, hate, psychopathic imagery, the craziest conspiracy theories, election denying, and pathetic failures of history. A few of Greene's supporters in Georgia, near where she had that Civil War monument blunder, say that we should look at her record in Congress. Okay. What record? According to the Congressional Research Service, Greene has not written or passed a single piece of legislation. There are plenty of bills, however, that have helped Greene's constituents that the Congresswoman opposed. This includes the infrastructure bill funding new roads and bridges, the American Rescue Plan providing free COVID vaccines and tests, funding for cops, firefighters, and teachers, the Inflation Reduction Act lowering prescription drug prices, the PACT Act funding health care for veterans. And these are just the big ones. But in Marjorie Taylor Greene's bizarro world, the only things that matter these days are worshiping in the cult of Donald Trump, speaking endlessly about pedophilia, and trying to pay tribute to the Confederacy. And even when that backfires, Greene's effort may appeal to the heavily Republican corner of Georgia she represents. Still, by most accounts, a growing number of voters in Georgia's 14th congressional district are ashamed and embarrassed. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.